1,000 Australians to create wealth through investing in property using the Markoski method. Join us. We're going live in our Facebook group, Positive Property Club. It's going to be an exciting session. Can't wait to see you there. Okay guys, we're starting in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey George and Christina,
hey
Markoski, how you doing?
Welcome back. Christina and George Markoski here. Can't wait to tell you, oh my God, so many exciting things are happening.
Yes, now look, we've got lots of people on board, which is great. Hello and welcome. Now, I want to apologise.
Welcome to the show.
I want to apologise. Last week we had some technical issues and we couldn't get through to the club. And we kept talking and going on, but we're in the club now.
We're in the club.
So guys, we're in the Positive Property Club.
Raise the roof in the club.
Now, there's a lot that's happened since last week. Heaps. And we've got a lot to talk about. Now, who's been following the Joe Biden and the Trump thing?
Joe versus Trump. Who will win?
Exactly.
Well, we know who won.
Well, we know who won, yes. Well, look, yes. Now, basically, what I want to talk about is what Joe Biden, because Joe Biden now has been sworn in, right? And whether
it's official. He's the president?
He's the president. He's not president-elect anymore. That's it. I think so. I don't know. I should Google it and have a look.
Good to know.
Is Joe Biden the president? We're about to find out.
United States of America.
Joe Biden's been inaugurated the 46th president. No, he's not yet. He has been inaugurated.
Okay.
Tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Oh, no. No, that's not
4
it.
hours ago, that's it.
He'll be integrated tomorrow. So Joe's not the president yet. He's president-elect.
Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Thank you for saying hello. Someone has said hi.
But there's so much going on at the moment in the world, I think. I mean, the election, how crazy was that for one? COVID-19, there's so much happening.
Yes. And there's a lot happening. And what we have to realize, and what I want to talk about tonight, I'm going to talk about Joe Biden. I'm going to talk about COVID. I'm going to talk about rental vacancies that have hit zero.
What about the vaccine, the COVID vaccine?
We're going to talk about that tonight as well.
Yeah.
The COVID vaccine, right? So it's going to be very interesting. So what's happened, and this is the thing, right? There's a little country nearby us that have been kicking ass. And they're probably, when it comes to COVID recovery, the number one country in the world.
You're talking about New Zealand?
Yes.
A little country called New Zealand.
Exactly.
Hello to all our New Zealand members and friends.
But you know what? How is New Zealand going to create Australian property millionaires?
Good question.
Do you want to hear how it's going to happen?
How?
Are you interested? Tell me, guys. Tell me if you want to hear this, because I need some feedback here. Say yes. Say hell yeah.
We love New Zealand, and I love New Zealanders. They're beautiful people.
Yep. Because look, at the end of the day, let's face it, they're our neighbours. I love New Zealanders, and it's 6 o'clock.
They've got a really good attitude.
Has anyone watched Flight the Conchords? One of my favourite shows, and that's New Zealanders, with Murray and all that. Now, we're also going live in the Positive Property Inner Circle today as well. So if you're in a circle, say hello, welcome. Now, guys, the Property Inner Circle, if you guys got any questions, now is a great time to join in and just say something.
Absolutely.
Yep. So,
get in early. Get your questions in early.
So here's a list of things that we've actually stolen from New Zealand, right? Crowded house.
Okay.
Phar Lap. Russell Crowe.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Pavlova.
I was going to say Pavlova. There's a bit of a debate whether it's Australian or New Zealand.
Yeah.
Each country's sort of claimed it.
Yep, right. Exactly, right. So let me tell you what's happened to the coronavirus recovery in New Zealand.
Okay,
right?
Let's find out.
And New Zealand is the only country ahead of us when it comes to recovery.
Right.
So we're
in the world?
In the world.
You're kidding.
So New Zealand number 1, Australia number 2.
So we're number 2. That's amazing.
Right? Look, if we're going to be number two to someone, our beautiful friends across the Tasman.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
See, what New Zealand did, they acted really fast and shut down the country.
They just stopped everything.
And essentially eliminated the virus completely.
Pulled the plug on everything.
They cut down the interest rates down to 2.25%, right? They put in wage subsidies straight away, and they just went straight into it. They handed out $50 billion.
They went really gung ho.
With the recovery. Now the thing is, that's what they did, right? And guess what happened?
What?
Property market rebound 20%.
Yeah, I was speaking to a member who's a friend of mine in New Zealand, and she was telling me that property there has gone nuts. Like, it is so expensive now.
Yep. Now, this is the thing, right? New Zealand was ahead of the game when it comes to COVID, and their property market was 20%.
Yeah.
Do you think we here in Australia may be able to do something similar?
Absolutely.
Because who followed quite quickly after New Zealand was us. Now, we had that lockdown in Melbourne, and Melbourne got hammered with the property price. But guess what happened? They've rebounded. Because this is the deal, right? And this is the thing that people sometimes get wrong, and I've got to understand. When there hasn't been growth, that's the opportunity.
That's what you want to look for.
So if I'm looking at an area, this part, I'm going to do a whole series on how I do my research. I want to tell you guys, I want to be transparent, show you guys exactly what I do. One thing I pride myself is, if you look at our values, heart, and now A in heart is for being authentic, being real, no BS, and being vulnerable. Yeah. And that's me. And that's part of our values. I'm happy to be real, be authentic, and be vulnerable. And I'm going to share my secrets. Now, I'm not going to share the top 100 with you because you have to pay me for that. But I will share how I get there. And you know what? Instead of giving you the fish, I'm going to teach you how to fish. And if you can't catch it, you can always join our program, our black belt. You can always join our black belt program and get the fish delivered to you on a platter, right? So it's all good. It's great. And so what I want to do is,
but it's really fascinating to hear about, what's happening around the world in terms of coronavirus, how it's actually affecting the property market. New Zealand, number one country for basically almost eradicating it. And now Australia's second. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. Yes.
And now look, with Melbourne, right, their growth after lockdown, so the rebound. And I want to tell you, the reason I'm talking about this because it's important, because I need to explain something to you. This is a pure example of why my statistical research works so well and why fundamental research is fundamentally wrong. Okay. So the rebound in the Melbourne property market is the biggest it's had in 21 years.
Wow. You're kidding.
Yes. Now, followed by what?
Big crash.
Yes. Now, look, I must say, I didn't expect it to bounce back that quick.
Very quickly.
Even I was surprised. I knew it was going to bounce back, but not that quick. I thought we had longer to go, right? And so the thing is, guys, a lot of times property can surprise you the way it bounces back. And really, the market is on the move and fast. It's already moving. And, that's why it's important to really find out what we're doing. Now, what's happened in Melbourne and why did it go up? I want to talk to you about a thing called market cycle timing. Yes. Because this is a pure example of market cycle timing. So there's probably around 29 different things that I look at when I'm looking at top 100. There's 16,000 suburbs in Australia. And what I do is I look at the top 100 and I only choose the top 100 out of 16,000 so we can really get the best return for ourselves and our clients.
Absolutely.
Now, I used to do it for myself, but now I do it for our clients, and it's more fun doing it that way because there's more people, and it costs a lot of energy and money and time to do it. And now we've got all these members, so it's great. So basically, market cycle timing means that if a property market hasn't gone up for a long time, it's going to go up. That's it. Simple.
Yeah. So you want to get into a suburb that hasn't had growth for the past 6 or 7 years?
Well, it depends. What you got to do is you got to look at the historical.
That's just one factor, though. Yes. I'm just talking about one single factor, obviously.
So basically, property cycles last between 7 to 12 years.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to look at when the last cycle was, and if it hasn't gone up within 7 to 12 years, it's about to boom.
Yeah.
Right? That's the fact of it. If it's in a capital city, large regional center.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. So market cycle timing is one of the most important things. So write it down, remember it. It's very important.
MCT for short.
Yep.
Market timing.
And talking about MCT, I've been taking MCT, my medium chain triglycerides.
But don't confuse everyone.
No, because I've been on.
That's a separate thing altogether.
Yep.
We're talking about property now, George. We're talking about market cycle timing.
Yep. So make a note and really make sure you look at that, and that's why Melbourne's had such a rebound, right? But when it comes to market cycle timing, the market cycle timing in Brisbane is amazing at the moment. Because what happens normally, and I've got the graphs, and I want to share them next week. Remind me, please. So what happens is you got Sydney, and there's a boom. Then Melbourne follows, then Brisbane follows.
Right. And
back in 2008, everything crashed, and I was going, "Oh my God, property stuffed." And I said, "Guys, it's going to come back." Because one thing about me, I'm like the ant. In summer, I realised there's going to be a winter, and in winter, I know there's going to be a summer.
Yeah.
So when property prices are going up high, sooner or later they're going to go back down.
But you have to always think, 2 or 3 steps ahead whenever you're investing as well.
You do.
Because you're not just thinking about that one property you're buying, you're thinking about the second, the third, the fourth, up to 10 more properties.
Well, this is the deal. I remember in primary school when you're probably pretty small, you probably played a bit of checkers. Because you probably weren't smart enough to play chess when you're 5, right? I learned chess when I was 5, funny enough. But then when you get older, you learn maybe chess. Now, a lot of property investors out there playing checkers, which is just one move at a time. But then you've got the chess players like myself, and we're looking 4 or 5 moves ahead.
Yeah, so you're really thinking about strategy.
Yeah, and you can't beat the chess players, you know what I mean, like that. That's the thing. So Joe Biden, now that he's the president, America's got stability again.
Yes.
And the economists...
No more civil wars.
The economists are saying that's going to be really good for the economy and really good for Australia as well.
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. And that's what they're saying. Whether you like Trump or Biden doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
But stability creates wealth.
And
instability
creates certainty.
Certainty. And instability creates no wealth. So for example, where's a war-torn country? Iraq. Iran's not war-torn.
Iraq, sorry.
Yeah, Iraq. Iraq's a war-torn country and pretty dangerous. And I'm not a property expert in that area. I'm an expert when it comes to Australia, New Zealand, Israel, Singapore, all the Western countries. But I'd imagine in a war-torn country that property prices aren't very stable.
Well, no.
Right? And I've heard Iran have gone down as well. They were going up for quite a while, but then they've gone down. But anyway, see, Australia, the reason our property market's so robust is because we've got a very strong democracy and a lot of stability, which is great. So what's happening is, one, Joe Biden now is going to get inaugurated. That's actually going to be good for the economy. 2, awesome. The COVID-19 vaccine. Now, whether you like vaccines or not, right, what we've done is we've escaped COVID quite unharmed. Melbourne got locked down. I was talking to a friend of mine in London actually last night, and they're in a third lockdown now. Third.
Wow.
So restaurants in London, in UK are stuffed. They're in their third lockdown. They're getting 50,000 cases a day.
That's crazy.
Which is just we haven't even had that total in all of Australia, right? So we're really
50,000 cases a day.
Yes.
How are their hospitals coping with that?
Look, it's like a flu for a lot of people. So
yeah,
I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not an expert on how they're coping, but it's a lot of cases. So what's happening is the Australian economy is pretty strong, but now the vaccine's rolled out in UK already. It started about 3 days ago.
Right.
So they're starting to vaccinate thousands and thousands of people. Now, the vaccine, whether you like it or not, it's going to help the economy.
Yeah.
Because what may happen in Australia, we've escaped Corona so long, and what was the fear was we escaped it, but we're going to get hit again and get a second wave once we open up. But if they get the vaccine out and people get vaccinated, then maybe we're going to miss out on that second, third wave.
It'll shrink, flatten the curve.
Yep.
Basically.
Someone's saying I'm not taking the vaccine. And look, that's fair enough. And personally, I'm not sure if I'm taking the vaccine. I'm not big on vaccines. I'm not big on pharmaceuticals or anything like that. And the jury's out at the moment. I mean, the one thing is, I was looking at an article recently, funny enough, in Norway, they had the vaccine. And I think it was Norway. Let me have a quick look.
Yeah.
I think it was in Norway. And out of these old people, 50 people died.
Wow.
They took the vaccine.
That's a lot.
But they were 80 plus and in nursing homes. And they said, well, they're going to die anyway.
That's still not okay.
But anyway, they said they're going to die anyway. But my problem is you can't say they're going to die anyway and then say it wasn't the vaccine. But then if they die anyway, but it was COVID, then it's COVID. You can't have it both ways.
No.
I don't care, have it this way or that way, but you can't have it both ways. And there's been a lot of discrepancy, and I think the COVID deaths have been exaggerated. And they've been exaggerated because people are getting rewarded for it. So if you're getting paid extra money to report something as COVID,
there's an incentive there. There's a financial incentive.
Follow the money. Follow the money. Whenever there's an incentive to do something, it's going to happen. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the fact of it is, if you're going to incentivize hospitals or places and countries to say this was COVID so they can get more money, then they're going to say it.
They're going to tick whatever box they have to get that cash.
That's right. So I reckon there's probably exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that COVID is not real. I'm not saying it's not dangerous. But I think that Australia so far have done well. Now, what's this about rental vacancy rates hitting zero?
That sounds amazing. I mean, hello.
Zero.
There were people complaining about, oh, what if our tenants don't pay rent because of COVID and they've lost their jobs? But if you're saying that rental vacancy rates are at zero.
Not everywhere. Of course. Okay.
Then we're laughing.
Yeah. So look, let me explain. Coastal towns, wine regions, and anywhere in the states where people go on holiday, on mini holidays, are totally booked out. We know, we were there.
Because of domestic tourism.
That's right. So there's actually a massive...
We can't go to Bali, so we go to the Barossa.
So I'm very fascinated to see what's going to happen because we're all spending money in Australia now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome in a way.
Holiday in your own backyard.
Well, we had some friends come visit us. We had Belinda. Hi, Belinda, if you're online. And what happened was...
Chris and Belinda.
Chris and Belinda came and joined us.
A lovely member, Chris.
Yep.
And yeah, it was amazing. We went to a little trip at the Barossa. We spent a whole day at Maggie Beer's farm.
That was amazing.
And we made our own gin. It was so awesome. It was such a great experience.
If you watch this, Brett, hello and thank you. So Brett is an old mate of mine and Belinda's, and he married Maggie Beer's daughter, and he's called the son-in-law, and son-in-law gin, and he taught us how to make gin. And Brett's very good at what he does. He's excellent, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Had a great time. And the fact of it is, we spent a lot of money because really, if we went overseas to Bali, it would have been...
Not just at Maggie Beer's farm, but in the Barossa in total.
But seriously, the money we spent there in 4 days, we could have spent 2 weeks in Bali.
Yeah.
But that's like, I don't mind. I'm not saying I don't care about that.
Yeah. We know it's expensive to holiday here in Australia. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got someone's got a question, but I'm going to say that to last.
Okay, we'll save that to the end. We'll come back.
Yeah, so therefore, basically, that's what's happening. So there's zero vacancy rate when it comes to all the coastal towns in New South Wales and Barossa Valley and places like that.
That's amazing. That's really good for the property market in Australia.
Yeah. So awesome. So these are the 5 reasons why the economy is getting pushed up when it comes to the property market, right? Yep. One is cheap money. Right?
Low interest rates.
They're so low. You can get a 4-year fixed term for less than 2%.
Absolutely.
Right? From the big 4 banks. And I'm not suggesting you do that because where are we both from? We are both from Adelaide.
Little
South
old
Australia.
Adelaide.
Yep. So hello. Where are you from, by the way? What's the name?
Yeah, let us know where you're from.
Yep. And welcome to the group. Thank you. So, yes, so basically, we're from Adelaide, Australia, and we run positive property.
Money's cheap at the moment?
The government's pushing the banks to lend generously, but the banks aren't doing it yet.
Right.
They're really making it tough for people. That's what's holding the market not going up. And also, they're throwing cheap money at business. You know, the government's guaranteeing 50 to 100% of people's loans. Oh, someone from USA.
USA.
Awesome. There you go. We've got an American friend here. Welcome. I love it that we've got people from all over the world here listening to us, which is great.
That's right.
And the government's spending massive. They're throwing everything at the economy. Right?
Well, that's good. I think it gives, that certainty and stability that, Australians need.
Well, we've got the biggest deficit since World War II.
Wow.
Right? And most people would be going, oh my God, that's bad. But let me tell you why it's good.
Tell me.
basically why it's good is because money is cheap at the moment. And I don't know if you saw my last live that we did last week, but many people that have got savings in the bank, you know what's going to happen to them?
It's shrinking.
It's shrinking. They're
Money's
getting
going
shrinkage.
down because property's going up.
So, you know what? The inflation that's happening in the country at the moment is going to destroy your savings.
Yeah.
If you've got money in the bank, if you're cashed up, seriously, you
get
better
it into property.
Get it into property or something. Do something because you're going to lose it all because it's going to shrink, and you don't want shrinkage. Shrinkage is bad. You want it to grow.
Not that type of shrinkage. The shrinkage of the money in the bank.
That's right.
But both are bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So both are bad, but the fact of it is okay. So we've got a question here. Do you see hi George and Christina? Just a quick question. Do you see the property clock changing now because of what's happening in the market? Okay. So let me talk about the property clock very quickly.
Yes.
The property clock is amazing. If you don't know the property clock, you should know it because it's important. 12 o'clock's the peak, 6 o'clock's the bottom. And what we do is we're looking at buying at 7 o'clock after we've had a little bit of momentum and growth.
Yeah.
Because that's the phase that it's going up. Now, 7 o'clock happens when there hasn't been growth. So when a suburb's gone up for 5 years in a row, it's at 11 o'clock.
You don't want to buy then.
You don't want to buy then. You want to buy at 7. Now, the property clock hasn't changed. Yes, the property clock changes consistently because we don't have one property clock. We got thousands of property clocks all over the place.
All in different states.
We've actually got just under 16,000 property clocks.
Nice.
So if you're a watchmaker, there's a lot of clocks. Yes, but see, what I do is I now have gone to monthly. I used to do quarterly, now I go monthly.
Yeah,
because of the market, I have to go monthly.
It's shifting so rapidly,
and I want to keep my eye on the pulse. So how do you keep your eye on the property market is through statistics, because through fundamentals you can't keep. How can you read 16,000 property clocks? It's hard. So what I do is I get every property clock in a spreadsheet with 29 different factors. I've got certain formulas so you can actually push all the good stuff at the bottom and all the SHIT down the bottom and good stuff up the top. Right?
You want the good stuff. You want the cream at
all
the
I
top.
want is
the cream rises to the top.
And all we want is the cream at the top. And I'm talking the top 100, top 200 suburbs out of 16,000. You can imagine that is the cream of the cream. So I get the cream on top of the cream. So the top of the cream is there. I only get the top of the cream, which is amazing. So there you go. So that's what we're doing. So that's what's happening in the property market. The clocks are moving consistently. I'm keeping my eye on it. And what I'm doing in our positive property in the circle, I'm actually keeping everyone abreast of what's happening and making sure that we put people in properties that are going to go up in value.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that we've got the market cycle timing right. And I want to get people in. Really, at the end of the day, if you haven't got a sense of urgency now in the property market, then maybe you're not listening.
You might want to check your pulse
and
see if you're breathing.
Yes, because last time I saw this was back in 2009. And back in 2009, I was saying the same thing. Things are going up. And Melbourne and Sydney went up 17 to 20% in 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
In 2010, 11 and 12, right? They went crazy. And the thing
time
is, though,
to get into the market.
The thing is, because the GFC happened, everyone's like, oh, we've got time. We want to go back in.
It happens. You blink and it happens.
And they were waiting on the sideline.
Yeah.
And then they blinked. Now, this is the sad thing. I mean, there were some people that I knew back in 2009 that could have bought 2 properties in 2009.
Oh, the amount of people I've met
and now,
that could have bought,
and guess what? And now
2 to 5 properties in 2009.
But now, guess what?
They can't buy anything.
Nothing at all. Zero. Because what happens is
all the time, and I see this all the time.
Because what happened is their money in the bank
keeps shrinking
in relative terms.
Yeah.
And the properties keep going up, so it's harder to get in. Right? If you've got 20% deposit now, well, in a year's time, you've got 17% deposit. In 2 years, you've got 15%. Then in 3 years, you've got, unless you're saving and you can beat it. But the problem is, it doesn't matter how much money you save unless you're making $500,000 a year.
You can never outsave the market, especially a rising market. Good luck.
No. Because if you buy a $500,000 property today, in 7 to 10 years to 12 years, let's say 10 years, just to be conservative, in 10 years' time, it will be worth $1 million. That's $500,000 in equity. That's $500,000 more that you're going to have to pay for it. Now, let me ask you a question. Seriously, do you think you can save $500,000 on your wage currently with your lifestyle, without your lifestyle going down, 500,000. I know I can't.
Nope.
No, I can't either. I'd rather my properties do it for me. And that's the key. So what happens is a lot of people saying, George, but what about paying off your loan? Inflation eats away your loan. It destroys it. That's the beauty of it. It really does. So that's the exciting thing. And household income is rising at double the rate it normally does, right? So normally household income goes up about 3%. At the moment, it's going up 7%.
Wow.
That's according to the CBA.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of businesses have shifted their models and just gone all online. So more people are working from home now.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the way it is. And I've been saying about this trend for a while, because what happened was I've been telling people that basically don't buy commercial.
Yes.
Because people aren't going to be there.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Especially now, COVID's given it that big shift that was already happening. It's just put it on steroids where people have no choice but to work from home, over Zoom. Now.
Exactly. And the thing is, the best way to make money out of commercial property is turn it residential. Right. And I've got a commercial property. I'm going to turn it residential. It's going to double in value overnight. Imagine that, making, that's 100% return with a stroke of a pen.
That's awesome.
I'm going to document it. It should be fun.
Yeah.
So the thing is, right, not only are people making more money, they're saving more money, and people are deposit ready.
Right.
That's another thing. They're saving more money. They're front. And this is the thing, we haven't had anyone vaccinated in Australia yet. And the property market's already come back. What do you think is going to happen when people get vaccinated?
It'll increase it.
It'll increase people's confidence in the economy and everything else like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So look, if house can grow in times like this of uncertainty, of pandemic and COVID-19, imagine what will it mean when the virus is no longer a threat?
Yeah, it's just going to be next level. I mean, it's already so crazy at the moment here, like the property market. But I can just imagine, when we're at the end of 2021, how next level everything's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the question though, right? So if housing has gone up so much with pandemic and everything, imagine what's going to happen once we've got a vaccine and everything else. It's going to be crazy. Now, you sitting there listening to us, the most importantly is how can you take advantage of this?
Yes.
Hello? How can you take advantage? I'll tell you how you can take advantage. Be prepared, right? Yes. Fortune favors the prepared.
And the bold.
Yes. Well, you've got to be first prepared, then bold. No point being bold. And you know what I mean? It's like Jim Rohn says, you can go to a motivation seminar, right? But if you don't know what you're doing, what happens? You're going to end up a motivated idiot. You know what that, right? You want to have the right strategy, right?
Yeah.
That's what Jim Rohn says. So the thing is, how can you take advantage of this? I'll tell you how you're going to take advantage. Seriously, what you need to do is invest in yourself, become the best version of yourself, and really take advantage of this. Because I don't want to say I told you so, because I've already done this for people that have followed me since 2008. I'm already telling them now, and now again, right? And the people that invested in 2009, they're going through their second doubling now. Because the second doubling is even better. Their property's doubled, now it's going to double again.
So get off that fence and get into the market.
Yes. So what I suggest you do is I suggest you really educate yourself.
Absolutely.
And one great way of educating yourself is doing our 14-day challenge. And we're doing the Freedom Through Property 14-day challenge the first Monday of March. We're taking February off.
First Monday of the March.
That's right. So guess what I'm doing? I'm taking February off. I'm not doing a challenge.
Cool.
But I'm going to do one in March. Might possibly be my last one. Because we're actually thinking about moving overseas.
Wow.
We might be moving to Bali if it's possible.
We're going to check out.
We're going to check out if it's possible.
Corona's like.
Yeah, let's see. But I haven't gone overseas for a year now, and I've got the itch. And I'm thinking of just packing everything up, and we're just going to go off for 6 months and just live somewhere else. Maybe Bali, Costa Rica, something like that. You know what I mean?
We'll check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I suppose, that's the beauty of having passive income. You can do that.
You've got options.
You've got options. And actually, I was talking to Najib, who does our videos, and him and his partner are thinking about coming and joining us.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
How good's that?
That's awesome. Cool.
More fun. And Belinda, if you're watching, you and Chris, you guys might want to come as well. because the beauty of it is now with Zoom and everything else, we can run this business from anywhere.
That's
but
right.
also what I love about it is the properties are going to make you money no matter what.
No matter where.
It's going to Airbnb our house.
Yeah.
We're off. We're done. We Airbnb our house anyway. And we make good money out of it with short holidays. I reckon a big holiday. If we're living in Bali and we're getting money for our property here, we're going to make a profit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, if you want to do the challenge, type in challenge and one of our staff will send you a direct message.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to do the challenge, don't do the challenge.
And we've got a few questions, I think.
Yes, we do.
Some people.
So, okay, Lee has a few questions and we'll be watching the replay. Okay, great. Excellent. Well, thank you, Lee. And hello, Lee, and welcome. Question 1. I'm 51. I have 3 properties, including own-occupier, which is paid off. I've been considering buying another investment, but everyone tells me not to expand more and stay where I am and not to be greedy.
What?
What are your thoughts taking my age into the equation? My concern is that if I buy another, it won't be paid off by the time of retirement. But the other 2 investment properties will be paid off by the time I retire. Question 2, how does the land tax work in the same state if you got over the quota? Okay, Lee, well, let's unpack this question because that's important, right? Okay. First, you're 51 at 3 properties. Well done.
Absolutely.
And you've paid off your own occupier. Excellent job.
Amazing.
Fantastic, which is really good. Now, you don't want to have all your properties in one state.
No.
No way at all. So one thing with the land tax, I don't know which state you're in, so I can't comment, but every state's different.
Yeah.
Once you go to a certain threshold, you have to mix it up. But really, at the end of the day, have you ever heard of this thing called don't put your eggs in one basket?
Yes.
Putting them all in one state is one basket. So what I like to do is put 2 or 3 in one state, and then move on. So you've got 2 or 3 there, you've got 3 properties, that's fine. You know what, that's okay. But I'd probably want to put 2, the next one you've got, put in a different state. New South Wales, okay, great. So New South Wales is pretty strict when it comes to land tax. It depends on the value. But if you reach out to Charmaine, I'll put, if someone can tag Charmaine in this post, reach out to Charmaine, have a quick chat to Charmaine. We'll find out how much they're worth and work out what you need to do.
You need a proper strategy. You need a proper plan.
Because it's hard for me to explain that, but I want to give you as much value as I can, though, which is great. And I really appreciate you asking questions because questions are good because that gives me the ability to really help people because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I really want to help people as much as I can. So greedy. I'm not. So
I think the people saying that you're being greedy, I think they're a little bit jealous, personally.
yeah. So look, don't let the naysayers naysay because
They're trying to hold you down.
look. I'm okay. So you're 51. I'm turning 51 this year. So we're the same age. High five. Now,
Do you think he's going to stop buying property? No way.
No.
Nothing's going to slow George
I'm
down.
going to buy 5 or 6 this year, right? Do I want to pay them off by the time I retire? I already retired once anyway.
So it
So I'm
doesn't
back.
matter.
But look,
The goal's not to pay them off anyway.
my goal is not to pay them off.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So one thing we've got to get clear on is, and this is why I love the 14-day challenge because it gives you clarity. Because until you got clarity, because property investing is complicated if you don't understand the core principles.
Yeah.
Once you understand the core principles, you can actually answer all these questions for yourself. And that's what I love about the 14-day challenge because I want to empower you to know what makes sense.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know what makes sense.
Yeah.
And the numbers
Or
don't.
that they've got their goals confused, like paying off the property as a goal.
Yes. Paying off the property is a goal, right? That's funny enough. That's a lot of people would probably say that's what they want to do, but really it's not what you want to do. Let me ask you a question. Would you prefer to have passive income or paid off property?
Passive income. Hello.
Well, I'm asking our person.
I'll just say what I want anyway.
Is your name Lee? Because I'm on the streaming software. We don't know. We can't see your name. I'm going to have a look on the Facebook page.
Yep.
You can see.
And have a little look-see as well.
If you don't mind, just
Yeah, because what's the most important thing?
Can you look and find out?
Yeah, it's not in the club that I.
Yeah, so the most important thing is could be the inner circle. Who knows? Could be anywhere.
I'm going to go on a wild goose chase now.
Yes.
That's okay.
No, I'm going to go right here quickly.
Because the most important thing at the end of the day, well, for me personally, is how much money my property is making me. It's not whether I've paid it off or not.
Yeah, look, I'm going to talk a little bit about priorities, but one thing you need to do, get clarity on what you want. right? Clarity is so important because when you've got clarity, when you know what you want, you know your goal, then you can create a plan to get there. Now, the greed thing is you're not greedy because I really think that, there's a lot of people out there that go, oh, money's not important to me. But that's because they can't get money,
Yeah.
right? Money's a tool and you can do a lot more good with money than without money. I mean, Belinda and I, we raised $223,000 for children with special needs. Now, that was a lot of money and did a lot of good.
Yeah.
Now, if I said money wasn't important and I gave them $20 instead, would I have made such an impact? No. So you know what I mean? So the important thing is that I really believe the more success you are, the better person you can be for society, for your family, for your friends, for everything. Yeah. So I say go out there and do the best you can.
Absolutely.
I think you should. Don't be greedy. Make as much passive income and create the lifestyle that you want. And
don't be average.
Don't be average. Don't be mediocre, right? And you're young.
Have big goals.
And look, you're very young. So I'll tell you the good news and the bad
Only
news.
a baby.
Let me tell you the good news and the bad news. Okay. So for people that don't have enough super, the bad news is you're going to live a lot longer. So people living a lot longer. The good news is you're living longer. The bad news is if you've got no money, it's going to suck because you're going to be on the pension for a long time. Because in the old days, when you retired at 65, 3-4 years later, you're dead. But now our average age goes up every year and it changes, right? So I really think my concern that if I buy another one, it won't be paid off. Maybe it won't be paid off by the time you retire, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is creating a passive income when you retire and having the right strategy. But I really think you should talk to Charmaine. She's one of my top property strategists and she knows my stuff really well and you're in good hands.
Put it this way, Lee, if you've got a property that's covering its own expenses and it might even be, positive by $10 per week, doesn't matter if you pay it off, if you're positive, if you're making money?
Well, on average,
it's going to cover its expenses.
Yeah, look, it's too complicated to go in here. You really need to talk to Charmaine, and then she might be able to help you. In a nutshell. But when I retired, because I've done. See, the thing is, when you're talking to me, you're talking about someone that walks their walk and has already done all this. So I'm not fantasizing because there's a lot of property people out there that have never retired on property, and they talk about retiring on property, but they've never done it.
Yeah.
I've done it, and I've helped people do it, and I know exactly what it's like.
Absolutely.
I'm really clear on it because I've already been there.
Speaking from experience.
I'm talking from experience, and you can't speak more than from experience. Now, I retired. I didn't pay off my properties. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they were positive. They were making me 180 grand a year, and they kept going up in value.
Yeah.
And what I did is I was conservative because I didn't know as much then as I know now. So I put $380,000 in an offset account. I got a house on the beach. I was single at the time. I was out there partying, having fun, traveling. I bought a convertible Porsche and had a lot of fun. But I was still, careful not spending too much money.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I should have spent more because the money just kept coming back in because of my passive income, which is awesome.
It keeps coming back in and topping up.
Yeah, and the thing is, that was the first doubling. I made my 180 grand a year, which was great.
Nice.
The second doubling now, I've just gone through. Now, last year alone, I made $1 million without getting out of bed.
Awesome.
Now, one of my goals was to make $1 million passive. And I really wrote it down as a goal a long time ago, but didn't actually think it could actually happen. And I am amazed that it happened. So it's pretty awesome. Which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So high five. And look, am I being greedy? No. I'm not being greedy because I'm supplying housing for people. And I spend a lot of money and help the economy.
I think Australians need to get over your tall poppy syndrome, please,
really,
once and for all.
Tall poppy syndrome
seriously
sucks.
Annoys me.
Yeah. So Lee, look, well done for having 3 properties. Well done for paying your own occupier. But seriously, we're going to have the biggest boom in 50 years happening in the next year or two. So I really suggest you get clear on this. Talk to Charmaine, have a chat, book in with her, and get a little bit of guidance because I really think you can kick ass.
Get clear on your goals, and we're here to help you go to the next level. Amazing. So we've talked about a lot of exciting stuff tonight, which is awesome.
I've got another question.
Oh, does positively geared property always increase your borrowing capacity? How do we make sure your borrowing capacity is increasing property after property?
Okay, how do we do that? Look,
very complicated question.
Okay, yeah. So look, we're about to end very soon.
Yes.
So you know what? I think I need to.
We are going to save this question for our next live, guys, because we've already gone way over time.
Yeah, so I'm going to save these two questions.
Thank you so much for joining us.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to quickly do a summary.
Absolutely. So we talked about Joe Biden, how that's going to increase the
We talked about Joe Biden. We talked about New Zealand and how we've taken Pavlova, crowded house, far lap, and now we're going to use their wealth strategy to help Australians become millionaires, which is pretty cool.
But also the COVID vaccine and how that's going to help put the property market on steroids.
But we also spoke about how the property market's already gone up and we're still in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, isn't it? And we spoke about how people's wages have actually gone up and property prices are bouncing back already. So look, pretty exciting stuff.
And how we've got zero rental.
We've got zero vacancy in certain areas. Now, other areas, the vacancies have gone up. So, for example, Melbourne CBD, Sydney CBD, Adelaide CBD, the vacancy.
In our no-go zones.
So if you look at our no-go zones, and if you want a copy, click on the unit no-go zone, one of the units. I don't know which number it is, but I've got it there. If you look at the no-go zones, just don't buy there, whatever you do. But seriously, buy the top 100 instead. But if you've got a property no-go zone, book in with Charmaine. She might be able to help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we spoke about our 14-day challenge.
Yes.
Right.
Which is a really good place to start if you're looking to improve what you're doing or even get started with investing.
Well, the good part is we're not doing it till March. So if you join now, you can do the pre-homework nice and easy. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
And then in March, you can just smash it out.
Exactly. Hit the ground running.
Yeah, exactly. And look, it's been wonderful talking to everyone. It's been great.
I love it. I love doing these Wednesday sessions, guys. I love talking to you.
The Wednesday sesh.
It's very exciting. I've had so much fun. It's been fantastic. Yes. And thank you for joining us today.
Now, just I want to comment on two things. If you're on our podcast and listening to us right now, please come and join us, Positive Property Club, live, because I'd love to interact with you, our audience. Great. If you're in the Positive Property Club or anywhere else listening to us, join our podcast, because that way you get a little bit of, get a little baby, little mini George and Christina in your pocket, giving you a little bit of motivation here and there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to be creating a whole new membership site for our members. But what I want to do is I want to give back to our community, because I'm very thankful that you're here. Oh, do you want to show that?
Yeah, I'm just going to show you what the property show with George Markoski looks like on the podcast. What the artwork.
There it is.
Oh yeah, there it is. Woohoo! Yeah.
Look at that. Shenanigans.
Love it.
So that's what it looks like right there. Now look, guys. What I want to do is I want to give back. So I'm creating this new membership site, and I'm going to be giving away a lot of stuff for free. Right?
Awesome.
So next week or two, come join me live, because I'm going to be giving away goodies.
It's free.
Thousands of dollars worth of goodies, because I'm going to be giving people some free memberships into our new site.
Free memberships.
As a celebration to launch it, because it's going to be amazing. It's going to be really cool.
That's exciting.
I've got this great team working on it. And this guy called Chris Benetti, who runs Members Pro. This guy's a really good guy. I spoke to him today, and he's helping us out with this team, and it's going to be really professional.
You're a legend, Chris.
You are, Chris. But also, listen to this. We're launching the Positive Property app.
Wow, there's so much happening.
How good's that?
That's amazing.
The Property Positive app's coming out. So stay tuned. That's coming out probably next few weeks. So that's coming out as well. And then you can have little George in your pocket motivating you. But yeah, so what I want to do that is I want to have that so you've got easy access. If you need any help, it's right there.
Yeah.
So that way you've got an emergency call your coach button. So look, having a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. We're off, and we're going to see you next Wednesday. Look, we're going to be here Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday. We're going to be here.
Rain,
come and join
hail,
us.
shine.
Come and join us. We're going to be giving value bomb after value bomb after value bomb, and having a bit of fun. Now, look, guys, I need a quick question before we go. One last question. We used to warm up with karaoke, and today we didn't do it.
No.
Last week we did. Comment please. Do you like the karaoke? You don't like the karaoke? Because I don't mind it, but if you don't like it, we'll do it. If you don't like it, we won't do it. That's it. Thank you so much. We're out of here.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see you next week.